So I just made another video, which I'll post at a different time, but I wanted to follow up on the Christmas ghost paranormal videos. I had everything set up. Uh, Again, I slept on the couch that night, and that's kind of where I heard the crying the two Christmases before. I didn't hear anything. I waited most of the day. Later that day, I did go to my daughter's house, so I wasn't home all day. But it's, how do you say, it's expected, and I'm not surprised because there's no such thing as ghosts, but I took a stab at it. It did give me some ideas because my brain is always churning for that next big book, and I thought, here's a twist, and if I wrote this book about this guy who discovers there's a ghost in his house, and if you ever see my channel, I have a different channel where I review movies, and I review a lot of horror movies. And there's a part in my review where I'll be like, this is what I would have done. Because some horror movies, I love the way, like, if you got to solve a mystery to get rid of the ghost, or you got to figure out where the ghost came from. And a lot of the movies, I don't know, they make not mistakes, but it's poor writing. Like, I think it was The Woman in White or The Woman in Black, the one with Harry Potter in it. But, the guy who played Harry Potter, I can't think of his name offhand. But, he's following the clues, and I thought that was really interesting. But then he gets to a point where he goes into town, and then a guy in town who's like the town drunk just tells him the story, says, okay, yeah, here's what happened. So he didn't have to solve the mystery for himself. It was basically given to him on a silver platter. And so I, every time I do a review, I'm like, this is what I would have done. So I thought, well, I'm going to write a horror movie. And of course it's going to be lighthearted. I can't write anything very seriously. If you ever read my book, 3 Men in a Tub, I suggest you go out and get it. But 3 Men in a Tub was, it's a movie about aliens, and but it's very lighthearted. It's very, what my idea of real aliens would be like. And there is a part 2 and a part 3. I have it all outlined. I just haven't written it down yet because no one's buying the first one. So, but one of these days I'll get around to, the second book is going to make fun of ancient aliens, and then the third book is going to be, them returning back. So it'll be a nice trilogy if I ever get around to finish it. But then I'm always starting these other books. I was starting a book about a woman who captures a demon, and another book about this and that. So this book was like going to be my take on a ghost story. And it's about this guy who moves into a house, and he finds out that there's a legend that this house has a ghost in it, and ghost hunters are visiting him, and he's like, why are these ghost hunters wanting to stake out my house? So that's kind of the beginning of the story. And then the way it progresses, it's like that's the way I would want a ghost story to progress, where you're seeing it through the character's eyes, and you're solving it through the character's actions, and nothing is handed to you on a silver platter. So anyway, that's going to be my next attempt, and I kind of base that on these real life events, because if you watch the paranormal videos, there's 3 of them. I think they're like half hour long, so they're long. But I talk about how the back door slammed in my face, how the key turned on in my hand, how I heard the little girl crying. So these are things that really happened to me, and I'm sure there's a logical explanation somehow, somewhere. But it just, because it always happened in December on Christmas, I'm just like, I called it the Christmas Ghost. And I don't think I'll call my book the Christmas Ghost, because I'm sure there's too many out there that reference that. But I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll call it the Valentine Ghost. That might be interesting. But anyway, I got the whole, how the ghost came about, and I got the whole, how the characters are going to solve it. I just got to write the book and like flesh out the details and stuff. Coming up with names is always the hardest part for me. There's a lot of emphasis put on name. If you take a writing course and stuff, they're like, you got to pick the right name. So that's always a challenge for me. And every time I pick a name, like, oh, that's a cool name, but then I know someone who's named that, and I'm like, they're going to think that's based on them, so I have to change it. So anyway, that's where I'm at. This is my follow-up to the paranormal one. Nothing happened. The cameras are still set up. I'll probably move them back to their regular places. But didn't see any shadow people, didn't see anything move on its own. There was no poltergeist activity, no sounds, no EVPs. Just a quiet Christmas day of me sitting on my couch. What was I watching? I was watching videos on missing people in parks, and it's funny because it's like not funny that people are missing in parks. That's very sad, but people are applying paranormal reasons for people missing in parks, and I think that's I used to live in Colorado, and I know that someone could go 3 feet off a trail and fall down, and they will not be found for a decade. And to say, oh, they were picked up by a UFO, I think that's belittling the people who are missing their loved one. Anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent. Nothing happened. So if you're looking for a follow-up video, I was hoping I actually was going to sleep in that room, but I got cold. So didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing. In about a week, all the files will be overwritten by the camera, so I didn't go through and find anything. I didn't save any of the files. But that was my story on the Christmas ghosts. So 2 years running, I heard a girl crying in the back room. This year, the door slammed in my face, but I couldn't get anything beyond that. So we'll see what happens going into the future. Who knows what can happen? But well, just a follow up to say it was a bust. It was a non-paranormal hunt. So I'm going to sign off. You'll see me wearing the same outfits. I just made another video about the Forest Fen treasure hunt. I'm going to post that a little later. But anyway, I'm signing off. This is Star Thinker. And I'm sorry we didn't get to see a ghost, because I would have loved to have my own ghost video. But I guess it wasn't meant to be. So we'll see you guys later.